Okay, so welcome to my video. Normally, I would say welcome to the stream, but we're not streaming. So I wanted to share, as the woman that's most predominant in my life would have to be my grandma. And originally, this was supposed to be done live on stream, but yeah, well, things happen. So, to give you guys some insight, my grandmother was born I think what, a year or two before Disney World or before Disneyland opened. She was pretty old. Well, not old enough, but so she was born, and her name was Nadine Edith Goodwin or McLarty. Honestly, my grandma could have been a secret agent, low key, because she had a bunch of names. I don't even understand. But yeah, so one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about her being important was because she had to deal with a lot of stuff that it sucked. Like, of course, being black, and she did spend some time in the South, as well as in California. But being black, of course, you experience a lot of things with racism. But it wasn't even the racism that was the bad part. It was her own mother. So she had to deal with a really abusive mother who only liked her other kids and did not like her for whatever reason. We still don't know why. She used to make sure that she didn't have any food if she didn't want her to eat. So a couple times my grandmother tried to find other ways to get lunch. And one of those times in particular was when she decided to become a part of the food, the lunch ladies, working at the school. And she was in, I think she said she was pretty much in middle school. So what happened was one of her sisters told on her. And her mother and her aunt, and this is what I've been told, literally kicked in the doors of the cafeteria, and she was drug out by her hair. All because she was trying to work at the cafeteria so she could eat. And then that night, she had to kneel in rice. I think kneeling in rice is a really weird thing, because a lot of people used to do it, and then they used to make you pray, and you would have to say the Lord's Prayer while you were kneeling in rice, and you would have to sit there, and sometimes the rice would cut your knees and everything. And she was pretty much led to believe that God didn't like her, and that's why she shouldn't eat. So her mother really, really, really abused her a lot. So throughout the years, she had to deal with a lot of stuff, like her sisters not liking her even still to this day, I've asked her sisters why they don't like her. And it's always it's not that we didn't like her. It was just different times back then. But my grandma was a very interesting person, where if you did something to her, she still would try to see the good in you, or just put it in the back of her mind, so that she didn't speak and act on on the fact that you were doing her wrong. And that's one thing that I definitely witnessed with my grandma, is if you ever did something, for the most part, she really didn't she didn't take offense to it. It was just kind of okay, that happened. So 2 years ago, 2 years ago, 2018, I got a phone call from, I think it was from my brother, and a text from my mother saying that my grandma was going to go to the hospital. So I was like, well, whatever, that's, okay. And it was how they were saying it was she was just going to go and do some regular stuff, some basic stuff. You know, maybe she wasn't feeling that well, but, you know, everything was going to be fine. And then, like, the next day, my mom was like, oh, they admitted her. And I was like, okay. She was still in San Diego, and I live in Florida. So I was just like, okay. And then a couple hours later, my mother was like, well, she has like stage 3 cancer. And I was like, you know, where, like how? Because my grandma was always able-bodied. She never had a cane. She still could work. She had her own flower arrangement business and everything like that. She sold Avon. She pretty much was like looking like the healthiest person ever. To be honest with you, I thought that when they said that she was in the hospital, to be honest, I thought that she just wanted to go to the hospital because she didn't feel like waiting to make a doctor's appointment. Like, I didn't know why she really had to be in the hospital. So when they said that she had cancer, I was like, oh, dang. Okay. Like, that's different. I didn't even know how to feel about that. So, the best thing that could have ever happened to me was that I got fired from Hertz because since I didn't have a regular job and I was just dog walking, I was like, okay, well, I'll go to San Diego. I'll go back home to San Diego. So I went back home in the beginning of February on 2018. And I was, for the most part, by myself at her house, going back and forth to the hospital, like every day, making sure that her bills were taken care of. I was doing all that, you know. When I got there, she had a breathing tube in her throat, and she never talked to me. And there was a couple of times that I was in the room, and she just looked at me like she didn't even understand why I was even in there. And then a few times, she didn't even know who I was. So going to the hospital was just, it was a part of life, but it sucked. So what ended up happening was my birthday came up on the 28th. And on the 28th, like at midnight, as soon as it turned into the 28th, I had a party for myself in her room. I had sparkling apple cider, and I just decorated the whole entire room, and it said happy birthday. A couple hours later, she woke up, and she looked around and had just this weird look on her face. And then, like, I saw a tear in her eye. And then she pulled out the breathing tube and said, happy birthday. And, like, the way that she did it was so weird. Like, she forgot that it was my birthday, but remembered. And that was the first time that she had spoke the whole entire month since she had been in there. So she went over 20 days not being able to talk just to pull out her breathing tube and say happy birthday. I posted on Facebook how excited I was, and I was like, man, she's gonna be talking all together in no time. And I showed her this this bunny thing that I got for her from Build-A-Bear, and I recorded my voice on it saying that when she gets better, we're gonna go to a wine and cheese cruise, which I did buy the tickets for. It was we're gonna go that October to a wine and cheese cruise, because she really loved wine and cheese, and she wanted to do the matching and the, all the pairings with the wine and the cheeses and then the wines. So then what ended up happening was that pretty much the day had ended. She enjoyed everything. The day had ended. She felt happy that she remembered my birthday. And then the next day, by that time my mother had come back to San Diego. My brother was there. The next day, we were sitting in the room talking, And then my mom was like, do I want coffee? I don't drink coffee. Like, if you guys know me at all, I don't drink coffee. If I ever drink coffee, it's during high stressful times because, like, I just drank coffee. I was just like, let's just do something, you know, whatever. But I didn't want coffee. I don't drink coffee. I still think that is like the most annoying thing that she ever asked me was, do I want coffee? Well, so her and my brother went to go get coffee. They're like, okay, well, since you don't want coffee, we're going to go get some ourselves. You could join us if you would like. They have hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate, but I was like, I don't want anything to drink. Like, it was not even cold outside. Why would I want hot chocolate? And so I didn't take the hot chocolate. So what happened was the nurses came in to change her bedding. And after they changed her bedding, she started coughing. And she was like, it was like you guys know when you just cough and then you cough again, like you're just trying to clear your throat. So, but she was coughing like she was choking. And they like, I pressed for the nurses to come, but I still don't think that the thing worked because I didn't hear a beep or anything. Like, the light on the door didn't go off or anything. And for like 5 minutes, she was just dying. And it's not like when they die on TV, because when they die on TV, like, they just like turn their neck and then they just like, you know, stop breathing. But like, she was coughing up everything. And it was like brown and like really murky looking, and she just couldn't stop. And the breathing tube didn't like stop anything. Like, it's just weird. So for 5 minutes that was happening, and every time she coughed, it was like a part of her soul was coming out of her body. So after 5 minutes, yeah, that was that. And then everybody keeps liking to say, at least, you know, she said happy birthday. But that's like, doesn't make me feel better. That's like saying that because your birthday happened, she died quicker. Because if my birthday had not come up, she would have never decided to take the breathing tube out the first time. And then all that would never happened. So there was that. But she like really loved to do arts and crafts. And there were so many times when we would make coasters. Like, she had the Martha Stewart kit, and we would make coasters. So I decided that I wanted to make her a coaster. And it may not be the best. I've done these several times, and several times I have found out that I suck at cutting stuff straight. I suck at gluing stuff. But I also suck stringing too. And I do pretty well somehow. So it can't be too bad. But yeah, so this is my grandmother. And so yeah. So I made a coaster out of her. What I am going to do is I'm going to end up putting some cork board underneath it. I might actually change it up and do felt. But yeah, so this is my grandma. And I just thought about it. I have to use this as decorative because if I put... I don't think she would mind something on her face. I don't know. She's kind of a funny lady. Probably just like sit some Sprite on her face or something. I don't know. But yeah, so this is the woman who I chose. So yeah. So I'm glad you guys watched this. And this might be in 2 parts, but it is what it is. This is the lady who I chose. Thank you so much, Jordan, for giving everyone the opportunity to showcase on Mixer. I think that was totally clutch. Thank you, Mixer, for being awesome too, and for not kicking me out when I was having issues. All right, thank you guys.